All right, let's begin. What we're about to explore together, well, it's not just some dusty old historical document. Think of it as a journey. We're opening up a Gnostic text, one that was lost for centuries, from a prophet named Marsenes. And we're going to treat it exactly as it was meant to be treated, as a living, breathing set of instructions, a sacred map for the soul's journey home. Right from the start, we're given this incredible promise. Marsenes, who tells us he's actually made this journey himself, talks about a final destination, a 13th seal. And what does it bring? The certainty of rest. Now, he doesn't just mean sleep. This is something far deeper, a state of perfect, peaceful stillness. That's the destination. That's where this map leads. So it's really important we get what gnosis actually meant to these mystics. This wasn't just some abstract philosophy to be debated. Gnosis is direct divine knowledge. For us, right now, it is a practical, sacred map. It's the set of directions charting the way from where we are now, all the way back to our true origin, our true home. And this map, it's based on a powerful Gnostic idea, that our soul is literally a divine spark, a little piece of a higher, perfect realm of light. But somehow it's fallen. It's become trapped right here, in this material world, which they saw as a kind of prison for the soul. The Prophet Marsenes gives us the key, this forgotten map, for our escape and our return. And here you can really feel the weight of this soul's situation. It's this divine spark, but it's lost. It's caught in a material prison, and what's holding it here? It's not physical chains. It's psychological tethers, our own emotions, our attachments. Every life we live is a cycle of forgetting who we really are. And we wear what Marsenes calls a garment. That's the ego, the memories, the entire identity of a single lifetime. This map, this is the path to finally taking off that garment, remembering who we truly are, and finding liberation. So how do we even begin a journey like this? Well, Marsenes doesn't give us a prayer to recite or a belief system to adopt. He gives us a practice, a tool. And that tool is sacred vibration. These are specific sounds the soul can literally use to start loosening the tethers that bind it to this material world. To really get this, think of practices you might already know, like yoga or Tai Chi. Just like those disciplines use physical postures to align the body with spiritual energy, Marsenes uses sacred sounds to tune the soul itself to a higher frequency. The goal is exactly the same, to prepare your entire self for transcendence. It's a deeply practical, even physical, act of spiritual work. And so the practice begins. We're told that each of the 7 Greek vowels resonates with a specific cosmic force, one of the planetary rulers. The very first sound, ah. This begins the process. It starts to loosen the soul's attachments. Marsenes is inviting us to feel that vibration, that quiet hum, as we begin to retune our very being. Next up, the sound eh. The text suggests you build a kind of rhythm, a meditative pace. See, this isn't just making noise, it's a recalibration. Each one of these tones is designed to gently work on a different psychological tether, getting the soul ready to become lighter, more free, and prepared for its ascent. Then, a longer eh. The pace stays steady, meditative, focused. With every sound, you're performing a sacred act. You're asserting the soul's true, divine nature over the lower frequencies that are trying to hold it here. Yeah, you can hear that, right? A shift to a higher frequency. You can start to feel how these vibrations are meant to work in a sequence, methodically building on each other, getting the soul ready for the trials that are coming. And now, this whole sequence of sounds, it's like a password, or maybe a better way to put it is a resonant key. It's designed to change the soul's very frequency, to make it incompatible with these lower realms, and loosen its grip on all the attachments that keep it stuck. Ooh, this is the first really practical step in outsmarting the guardians of this material world, those rulers who are policing this soul prison. By changing your own frequency, you're literally becoming unrecognizable to the forces that want to hold you back. And we finish with a long, deep ooh. With this last vibration, the soul is now prepared. It is tuned. The first gate has been unlocked, and the ascent can finally, truly begin. So, with the soul tuned and ready, it now faces its first great trial. It has to rise past 7 guardians, these archons.
These beings rule the lower heavens, the spheres of the planets, and their whole purpose is to trap the soul, to trick it into being reborn and throw it right back down to Earth. But the way the archons work is subtle. They don't use physical force. Instead, they use our own unresolved psychology against us. As the soul passes the sphere of the moon, it has to release its grief and envy. At Venus, it has to let go of lust and desire. At Mars, anger and wrath. See, these aren't external demons you have to fight. They are internal weights you have to release. That's how you outsmart them, by becoming lighter than the tethers they pull on. Once you're past those outer guardians, the whole journey turns inward. The struggle is no longer with forces out there, but with the very definition of who you think you are. To go any higher, the soul has to willfully shed its entire earthly identity. Marsenes calls this identity the soul garment, and it's everything that makes you in this life. Your name, your history, your loves, your failures, all of it. This step is absolutely crucial, and it's not a death. It's a profound act of release. It's liberation. You're finally free from a temporary role you've been playing, and you get to reveal the pure divine actor that was underneath it all along.
And what is it that's revealed? The sixth seal. This is the moment the soul recognizes its own inherent divinity. It is self-begotten. It realizes it was never just the garment. It has its own source, its own light, totally independent of any life it has ever lived.
And to really affirm this new reality, another sacred vibration is used. This high-pitched chant, 10 counts of the I, or E sound. It's a powerful declaration. It's the sound of the internal I am presence, that divine spark finally announcing itself, claiming its own existence, pure and untarnished. So having declared its own divine nature, the soul enters a completely new phase of the journey, and the whole tone shifts. The struggles, the trials, they're over. Now a state of peace begins, a divine homecoming. The soul now ascends through these incredible realms of pure thought and grace. They aren't really places, but states of being, these great divine intellects called eons. You can think of them as a kind of celestial family. And at the 10th seal, the soul reaches Barbelo, the great mother-father eon. And there's this deeply emotional sense of reunion here, a wholesome, warm reassurance that you have finally come home to your true family, and they welcome you with just absolute joy and relief.
But the journey isn't quite over. There is one last stage. Beyond the light, beyond the family of eons, beyond all thought and all form, is the source from which everything, and I mean everything, first emerged.
Marsenes' own words guide us through this final step with a profound warning. Be silent. To go any further, all effort, all thought, all striving, it all has to just stop. The soul has to become perfectly still, perfectly silent, mirroring the very nature of the one it is about to enter. This is the 13th seal. This is the certainty of rest. And this leaves us with a final, awe-inspiring thought. The entire journey of vibration and ascension, of overcoming and releasing, it all leads to this ultimate destination, a state of pure, creative silence. The map that Marsenes has laid out suggests that our origin, and therefore our truest home, isn't in a place of light or sound, but in the perfect, silent stillness that existed before anything else ever was.